Well, hello, nobody here, and I just want to finish off what I started with my I Am Nobody first video, just explaining the very foundation of this reality, because that just sets the playing field. We're going to get into the good stuff as you progress further into this. But like any kind of education, you got to start at the basics and work your way up to the more advanced. Just jumping into the advanced area, you'd be lost. So we're going to just build upon what my last video talked about, and that was the nature of reality, that we live in a reality reflected light, which reflected light is empty space, and we perceive it all through our imagination. That's what this reality is based upon, and I give proof of that in the first video, but I needed to add more proof in the second video, and that is the aspect that if what's reflecting light is mostly empty space, then why is it solid? Why am I able to hold this phone, wear these clothes, stand on this floor? Why is there a physical component if it's all empty space? And I'm going to address that right now in this video. Here, let me just bring it up. Google. Tesla said, think of reality in terms of energy and frequency, to bring up the article. All right, and then once you bring up the article, in fact, the very first response is the AI overview of what's, the truth out there. And here it is. Nikola Tesla's famous quote: "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." So everything in existence is composed of energy that vibrates at different frequencies. And that is why we have this physical component to this reality. That's why we're able to knock on something solid, or everything feels solid. And so the difference between this wall that I just knocked on and my fist that knocked on it is frequencies. They're different frequencies. Plus also, I'm alive, and that is not showing any kind of life in it at this level anyways. There's some more to talk about regarding atoms, but for this state in my explanation of what this physical component of this empty space is all about, that's what it is. And Tesla hit the nail on the head with saying that it's energy. And there is an infinite amount of different frequencies that we can exist at. And the law of infinity plays in here, and I'll quickly just describe the law of infinity, is that there is no such thing as big or small until you compare them between each other. There's no such thing as good or bad until you have one to compare to the other. I mean, how big can big go? No matter how big you go, you can always double it. And how small can you go? Well, no matter how small you get, you can always have it. So there's a law of infinite at work here also, but we'll get into more on that later. That's a little too early in this stage of the game to be able to dive into that. The main thing is you need to get your head around the fact that we are living in a reality of reflected light, which reflected light is empty space, and we're perceiving it all through our imagination. You got to get that. You got to accept that as much as you accept the existence of gravity. It's a must, because you build upon that. Now we're rebuilding our whole belief system, and it starts right at the very foundation. And I promise you, when you do this, you are going to unlock a power of abundance like you've never imagined possible for yourself. And not only just, unlock it, but actually, whatever you want, attract it. We're taking the law of attraction, which everybody's heard about, and we're actually showing you how it works. And the reason why this is because all my life I've been fascinated by achievements and goals and these things that's really, seem to be within my grasp. But when I actually go to grab it, I couldn't put my hands on it. If you were to Google celebrities on manifestation, they'll all tell you the same thing, that you just got to believe it and it'll be yours. You Google, professional sport athletes on manifestation, they're going to tell you, you got to imagine it, and you're going to do it, and it'll happen. But I never could buy into it. I thought, how does that work? I couldn't figure it out until now. I've figured it out. I'm so thrilled to bring it to you, but it requires a total restructuring of your belief system. Not that anything you believe in is wrong, but it's limiting, and there's no limits to what you're capable of. All right, so now that we have firmly shown, without any doubt, That we're in a reality of reflected light, which reflected light is empty space, but it's not really empty space because it is jam-packed with electromagnetic energy, light. And we only get to see a small spectrum of that electromagnetic energy, what we call visible light. But when I talk about light, I'm talking about the entire spectrum, all the way from gamma rays and ultraviolet rays and X-rays and all of it. It's all under the umbrella of light, or more scientifically known as electromagnetic energy. So the entire universe is one infinite field of electromagnetic energy. And me and you and structures, everything that is made up of atoms, but even the atmosphere between me and the camera and me and you and everywhere is also made of atoms, filled with atoms. So atoms are what bring structure to this reality. But they're jam-packed electromagnetic energy too, because we know if we split one, we're masters at destruction. We split an atom, we create an atom bomb and release all that energy. So we are masses of energy. Everything is energy, but when you bring the structure of atoms into it, then we become individual structures and separated by the change or the difference in frequencies, and there's an infinite amount of differences in frequencies. But that begs the question, where's the mind? Where's our mind? Where does it reside? Well, it feels like it resides up here in my head. So it must reside in my head. And, everybody refers to the brain as where your mind is. Well, the brain's made of atoms. Everything's made of atoms. So when it comes right down to it, the mind resides in the atoms. And what are atoms? Well, they are snowballs jam-packed with electromagnetic energy. Electromagnetic energy is where the mind is. It's energy too. It's all electromagnetic energy. The only difference is our mind has intelligence. Atoms have intelligence. Atoms are jam-packed, intelligent electromagnetic energy. Now, I know that's way out there. I know that's like fantastic, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, this guy's crazy. But I'm going to, again, using grade 6 science, easy to explain, easy to understand science, to show that, hey, you can't deny this. So, for instance, I'm holding this cup of coffee. It's empty right now because I finished it. But the outermost atoms of my fingertips are not contacting the outermost atoms of this cup. There's a small gap in there. It's called the van der Waal gap. So no matter how hard I squeeze, that gap will always be there. So let's just have a look at something here. Let me turn on my recording. So I'm recording my phone screen for you. And we're going to Google van der Waals gap. I've already got it typed out here, ready to make this video. And so van der Waals gap is a small space between layers in 2 dimensions. So let me go to images here. All right. And I'm going to pull up the first image because, the image is what Google believes is the best response to my inquiry. And let's, we can go through all the science of this, but what's important about this image is this last frame, what shows the van der Waal gap. So here, let me just do a screenshot of that. I'll bring up the screenshot and let's mark it up with a pen. Yes, okay. So if this is me and this is the cup, right? This little blue area is the gap between the two. There's a gap there. Let me just turn off the recording and come back to me now. Okay. So there's a gap there. And that gap means that whatever I'm feeling when I pick up this cup, whatever I'm feeling, the smoothness of it or the heat from it, the atoms are sensing that data. And through quadrillions of more atoms transmitting that data up to my head. Where my mind is in the atoms. So in the electromagnetic energy, all the way from the tips of my fingers to my brain. It's electromagnetic energy communicating. And it's unbelievable, but it is very believable. Like it's a dichotomy. It's like, holy smokes, I've never heard this. And that's what really it comes down to, is the programming that we have been given since birth has robbed us of this miraculous, marvelous ability that we have as spirits having a human experience to be able to create whatever experience we want. And because we've been programmed that this is what life is all about, work hard, get a good education, you get ahead and struggle, that's the life we're creating for ourselves. Once you change that, you change everything. And it's amazing how easy it is, actually. You don't have to work hard. The only thing you have to work hard at is yourself, controlling your thoughts. So we're going to leave it at that for now. And then we'll go on to the next video. But I think that's the end of the I Am Nobody series. I think there's just 2 videos I need to do. I don't think there's a third one. And I'm going to group my videos together so they're different areas of expertise, or I shouldn't say expertise, but of teachings, to allow you to put the pieces of the puzzle together like I did in order to come to this level of awareness where all of a sudden now everything changes, and I understand why everything changes, and once you see it, you can't unsee it, and life takes on a whole new dimension. Abundance is everywhere, and I love it. I don't want for money, I don't want for love, I don't want, because I have it all. I've got it all, and now all I want to do is spread it. I want to spread it around. So thank you for watching. Subscribe and like the video and share it if you think that the information is valid here. I'll look forward to having you on their side. And if you want, you can always pick up my book. It's called Miracle Making, The Definitive Guide to an Extraordinary Life of Miracles. You can buy it on Amazon. And this explains it all. Between this book and my videos here, you'll be unstoppable. All the best. Thank you for watching.